Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, thanks for stopping by and giving me a chance. I'm Prepping by Faith. So today I just wanted to touch on the fact that there are so many voices with different opinions on how you should prep, where you should prep, which gear is the best, whether you should leave the city, start a homestead, learn the old ways, live off grid, or build a bunker. Should you purchase precious metals, or will those become worthless at some point in time? So let's have a conversation about this. And you guys let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. Let's start by listing the facts. We know that inflation is still at play. We can see that most items are still significantly higher than they were pre-COVID. We know that tensions are at an all-time high as well between our nation and Russia and China, and the possibility of a World War III increases every day. Only it isn't just a World War III that we have to worry about. If they can figure out how to start a culture war, a race war, a religious war, a political war, and a civil war all at the same time, they will. You see them cycle through these cards at will, attempting to ignite division and hate at every opportunity. We see the barrage of cyber attacks that could eventually lead to a significant impact on our supply chain or access to our utilities. We see the strongholds that we face as far as our 2A rights, the purposeful changes to our children's curriculum, the push for transgenderism in the marketplace, social media, politics, and the like. And we know that there is an agenda to silence the majority by labeling us as intolerant, hateful, racist, sexist, and homophobic. We know that the WEF is hard at work infiltrating our banking system, healthcare, places of employment, and government, all in the name of climate change. The smoke and mirrors of green energy is meant to confuse the masses and empower them to make a difference, when in reality, people are putting on their own shackles and straitjackets. So where do we go from here? How do we adequately prepare for a future that looks so uncertain and still be at peace with our decisions? I'm going to be real with you guys. I don't have all of the answers, because if I did, I would most likely be one of those elites that we've been talking about, and we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. I believe that each of us has to prepare ourselves and our families to the best of our abilities with the information we have at hand. That means we don't need approval from anyone else in the prepping community, financial community, political arena, or religious circle to validate our decisions. Your personal decisions do not make you less of a prepper because someone else thinks they have all of the answers for your life. To think that even if by some miracle we could get completely set up, off grid, out in the sticks, away from others, and grow everything we could possibly need to survive for decades, remaining completely self-sufficient and stay untouched and unscathed, is nothing but an illusion. There are things that could happen in an instant that could decimate that safe haven. A wildfire, tornado, hurricane, or other natural disaster could come through and obliterate that property. An accident could take you out. A drought, a pest, or a blight could destroy your crops you needed to survive. I don't share any of this with you guys to discourage you in any way from continuing to prepare, but you have to understand that no matter how prepared you are, there are things that can happen outside of your control and can turn your world upside down in an instant. There are things that we have in place currently as a society that add a layer of protection, like home insurance, shelters, and hotels. But in an end of days scenario, there wouldn't be anywhere else to go. And if you think that by living remote and watching a depression take hold of this country, you would remain safe, I would challenge you to rethink that conclusion. The government is never going to let you live in peace. They are always going to want their pound of flesh, and they are not going to be satisfied with a few bags bags of beans and rice as payment. Taxes will remain with us. There's a reason that old saying has weathered the test of time. The only thing certain in life is death and taxes. For this reason alone, I think it is wise to have precious metals in your possession. That brings me full circle to the point of this video. We could all become as self-sufficient as possible and live off the land, but it is so much more involved than that. Like it or not, we are dependent upon each other. We need sustainable communities that we can trade with, whether it be skills or animals or feed for those animals. We would need doctors, vets, medical equipment and supplies, machinery parts, a source of refined oil, you name it. Even the most sustainable communities still have to source some of their supplies from the outside world. Everything is more vastly interconnected than we even realize. The one thing that I have overwhelmingly felt to my core is that prepping our souls is the most important prep we can ever make. Get serious about your relationship with your Creator. Involve Him in your daily life and routine. Seek Him first and foremost in everything you do, and then all of these things shall be added unto you. We don't have all of the answers and never will, but He alone knows the end from the beginning. If we started pouring as much into our walk with Him as we did into trying to map out what a future 2030 is going to look like, we would have so much more peace and resilience for the days ahead. We wouldn't be as concerned about how all of the pieces are going to fit together and if we've stored up enough beans and rice to sustain us. We can't do it all in our own strength. We need supernatural wisdom from above. Remember Psalm 37:25. I have been young and now am old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his descendants begging bread. The key is we have to be counted with the righteous. We need to know His voice. The Lord told us all of these things would happen, but we are to look up. We spend so much time focusing on the problems around us instead of focusing on Him so that we can gain the insight into the solutions to these problems. There is an appointed time for everything under heaven. We will all die and will return to dust. We all will stand accountable for how we led our lives. It doesn't matter how much you toil here on earth and heap up for yourself while you are here. Do yourself a favor and spend some time reading Ecclesiastes and what King Solomon had to say on the matter. I promise you that it will put everything into better perspective for you. Continue to prepare, but don't forget to include Jesus in your preparations. He comes first above yourself, above your family, and above your prepping. If He doesn't, it's time to really step back and reevaluate what you're doing. And I'm not just speaking to you guys, I'm speaking to myself as well. Sometimes we don't even realize how far off track we've gotten until we hit a major bump and we begin to look up. Guess who has the aerial view of all of our problems? It isn't us. If this video has blessed you today, please like, share, and subscribe. And remember to pray, prep, and put God first. God bless.